See, in the last class, just we already seen this virtual base class. Once again, I'll just briefly explain what is this virtual base class. Okay. See, what happens uh, whenever you are deriving one child class from two base classes. Okay. One we are deriving one class from two like parent classes. In that case, if those two parents having same data member. Okay. Just see here. We have taken this grandparent example, right? Okay. This grandparent deriving two like base classes, sorry, derived classes. One is parent one. Okay. One more is parent two. Okay. See, from one base class, you are deriving two classes. Okay. This is hierarchical inheritance, right? The same way, I'm just deriving one more class, that is child. This class I'm deriving from these two parent classes. Inheritance it is two base classes, one child class. It is multiple inheritance, right? This one base class, two derived classes. Two or more derived class means that hierarchical. Okay. See, in this case, what happens? See, you have grandparent, two parents. For example, in grandparent, you have one data member. Suppose, like X is there. Okay. This X is consider this is public one only. Okay. Don't get go with private. If it is private, you cannot access inside these parents also, parent classes also. Okay. Consider this is public one only. If I derive from this particular grandparent, these two parents, P1 and P2, this X is visible inside P2 and inside P1 as well, right? See, are using inheritance concept means that particular data member is visible inside derived classes. Okay. Now, in case of child, okay, this child class is derived from two different all base classes. Here base classes P1 and P2 are. From these two base classes, you are deriving child classes. Child. Now, inside child class, you will be having P1 members and P2 members as well. Okay, along with the child, you have P1 members and P2 members. In this case, in P1 you have X. In P2 also you have X. When you are deriving this child class from these two parent classes, P1 and P2, that compiler will get some ambiguity problem. That means compiler will get confused from which base class this X belongs to. This is visible inside child, but from which base class, from which base class that X belongs to. The compiler will get confused and it will raise an error, okay, showing that ambiguity problem. Okay. In case of multiple inheritance, you will get this problem. To prevent this ambiguity, to prevent this confusion, we have this virtual base class concept. Virtual base class is this problem, this ambiguity problem in case of multiple inheritance. Clear that concept, right? Whenever you are deriving from two base classes, okay, in those two base classes you have the same data members. Okay, in that case, the derived class gets the like data member from both both parent classes. That means from P1 and P2. Okay, P1 and P2, you have the same data member, consider X. Okay, that X is by default visible inside child, but from which base class it is from, that is the problem. Okay, that ambiguity problem will occur here. Okay, to overcome that particular issue, we are taking it as a virtual base class. inside virtual base class, how you can use this virtual base class here is, see, for example, here you have one class grandparent. Okay, this inside grandparent only one data member, that is x. Okay, just take it as public. Okay, public. I am taking public means, if I take public, then only it is visible in derived classes. Okay, x is there. Okay, there is no member function, so only one data member I am just taking. Okay, this is grandparent. Okay, from grandparent deriving two like classes p1 and p2. Okay, how you can derive these two classes? Class derived class means p1 colon public and parent. Generally, derive one class from another class. Syntax is class colon mode and base class. Okay, this is about p1. Now inside p1 by default it is visible x inside this particular p1. In the same way, you have, okay, from this p2 also you are deriving from grandparent. Default, because you are inheriting from grand. A way you can derive one class from another class. Okay, from one base class to tail classes means parent. Here you can say two derived classes p1 and p2. Next level, what I am doing, deriving from two parent classes. This is called multiple inheritance. The syntax is class child. I'm just deriving child class. I'm deriving from two parent classes now. Okay, p1 public, p2. Now are the data members and member function from p1 and p2 also visible inside this child. p1 you have x, from p2 also you have x. Whenever you are deriving from this p1 and p2, you will here also that x is visible, but the compiler will get confused from which base class that x belongs to, either p1 or p2. Both p1 p2 having x. Okay, compiler will get problem here. So problem we need to okay, yesterday I have shown, right, how that compiler is going to give the error. I will just show once again. Move this virtual one. See, this is the grandparent having one public, just deriving p1 from grandparent, deriving p2 from grandparent. Okay, now this x is visible inside p1 and inside p2 as well. Okay, I'm deriving one more class, that is child, from two classes. Okay, p1 and p2. Now inside this, you will be having member p2. Okay, already inside p. Okay, now here it is the problem. Okay, whenever you are accessing inside this particular child, giving the error as like that ambiguity plus here is the problem. will get the error here. Like you are getting that confusion from which class you are getting that. Okay, you are making your class as virtual. Okay, in that case, what happens? That base class is going to share only one data member to every child classes. Only one data member is going to share. It is not going to copy. It is going to share the particular data member. Okay, how it will overcome? Just simply you need to write one keyword extra before you are deriving into your child. Okay, see here, just uh, observe here. This is the P1 I'm just deriving, right? Okay, deriving from grandparent. This is the base class. Just make it as a virtual. Okay. Simply additionally you need to write virtual here. Virtual GP. In once you are mentioning it is virtual, you are deriving with the virtual base class. Okay, what happens? Particular grandparent members will be shared with all its parents, sorry, all its child as a like single member. Okay, in the previous case it is going to copy into 1x into p1 and 1x into p2, but in this case of virtual, in this case virtual, these grandparent members are going to share with children's. Okay, share with derived classes. Okay, now uh, for this particular p1 also same member is going to share, for this p2 also same member is going to share. The same member is going to share with the child as well. Okay, in this case there is no confusion, there is no particular like that particular problem here. Okay, see, the same while deriving p2 also you need to make this particular like base class as virtual. Okay, now you have only one copy here. For p1 and p2 you have only one copy. You are deriving child means the same one copy is shared with the child as well. Okay, in that case you can remove that particular confusion. Okay, are you able to following me?
Sir.
Simple, you are just making your base class as virtual so that you are removing that particular problem, ambiguity problem. Okay, how you can do? Just simply you need to add additionally virtual keyword for your base while deriving your like subclasses from base classes. Here I'm just deriving p1 from grandparent, right? Just make it as virtual. Simply additionally you need to add virtual keyword here. Here also just add virtual. Okay, now only one copy is going to share with this p1 and p2. Now while deriving this child there is no problem because only one copy is going to share with both p1 and p2. The same copy is available inside this child. Okay, now you can directly access that particular x and you can use that x in your code. Okay, for this particular child I have created one object. For see inside this object you can access that particular x. Okay, ch dot x means inside this ch you can store x value 20. If I print that x value in output you will get the 20 only. Okay, you can see previously if I compile that code you got one error, right? Now you can that error is going to remove. Okay, now you can see if I compile this code you won't see any error. This is very important. Okay, how you are able to use that virtual base class. Think it is taking. I'm just, there is no errors now. I'm just running this code. You can see 20 in the output. Okay. Now you are in a position to remove that particular problem by using virtual base classes. Okay. This is about a virtual base class. Okay. Clear, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
See, this thing, extra in inheritance, we have one topic, that is base and derived class construction and destructors. Okay, this thing, how these constructors and destructors are going to call inside derived class and base class. See, as of now, if I consider any inheritance program, either single inheritance, any inheritance, multiple inheritance, anything. For example, here I'm just considering one single inheritance. Okay, class A. Okay, this class having like one data member. Maybe we'll go with public only. Public int one data member. Okay, then inside class, what we can write? We can write some data members and some member functions, right? You can write data member functions means, for example, here just I'm taking void display. Void display. This is the data member. Sorry, member function that you can write inside your class. Okay. See, syntax to this is the one function. If you are writing inside the class means you are saying it is a member function. If you are writing outside the inside your program means that is a normal user defined function. Same, working is same and syntax and everything same. But if you are writing inside the class means you are calling it as a member function. Okay. See, inside class we can write constructors as well. If you remember or not, constructors. Constructor also similar, same as member functions only. Okay, but while writing constructors, okay, constructor name should be same as class name. Here you can observe I have taken constructor as A with parenthesis. Okay, which is similar to function only, member function only, but name of the constructor is same as class name. And constructor won't take any return type. If you see, if it is a member function, you are taking it as a one return type void, but constructor not allowed to take this particular return type. Okay, no return type for constructors. And constructor may take some parameters. Okay, if the constructor not taking any parameters, it is default constructor. Okay, we have three types of constructors, right? One is default constructor. Tell me, anyone remember? In the second, we have already seen these things. Default constructor, parameterized constructor. And default constructor means this won't take any parameters. Okay, simple in this way. Parameterized constructor. Okay, it will take some parameters like int x. Okay, copy constructor is different. It will take like is going to copy one object into another object. Okay, that we will already we have discussed in second unit. Okay, coming to here, what is the use of constructor? First tell me. Morning, don't sleep. Okay, this is the first hour. here. Constructors are used to initialize your objects. For example, if I create one object for this particular A, for this particular A, if I create one object, how you can create a class name? Class name is A, space object name, obj. This is the way you can create one object. Once you are creating this object, by default, this constructor, default constructor is going to call. Or if you are passing any parameter, actual arguments here, this particular parameterized constructor is going to call. That's why we are writing constructors inside class. Okay? To initialize, we are writing constructors in our class. These constructors are going to initialize your object. Initialization means you are giving some initial value to your data members. I create this object, by default, this constructor is going to call. No need to call your constructors. By default, whenever you are creating object, at that particular time, default, this constructor is going to call. For example, if you have data members in your, member functions in your class, this member function will call by default or we need to call manually.
So we have to call parameterized constructor then. It will not get default.
I'm asking about not parameterized. Particular data member is okay. This particular member function will call by default or this function. Manually to call the data member. Member function.
Sir, we need to call it.
Call default. We need to call the object reference. For example, if you want to call this particular in to call your member functions. Constructors are known manually. By default, the compiler itself will call this constructor. Okay, that's why we are writing these constructors in our class. Okay, to initialize your object. Okay, we are writing these constructors. Not to call these constructors. Object default. I will show how to write these constructors inside your class file. I will just write only for this particular. Oh, this class name is base. Okay, inside I have one constructor. Whenever you are writing constructor, class name, constructor name same as class name, and it will. But you are not writing a return type. Okay, and you are taking the name of constructor is same as class name. Okay, these are the rules you need to follow while writing your constructor. Which is similar work. The way it will work is similar to member function only, but the way you need to write in this way. Okay, see, this is the constructor. If I for that base class name, okay, base some b1, the way you can create one object, right, for this particular class. See, once you are creating one object for that particular class, by default the constructor is going to call. No need to call manually. Okay. Never creating that object. Default is printed, means whatever you have written, and just for showing whether it is calling or not. Okay, like I have written some statement here, cout statement, it is printing output. For example, if you data member display, okay, constructor also one special type.
Sir, sir, sir.
You are creating this object at the time in that object, by default constructor is going to call. Okay, if you have any data member functions inside your class, if you want to use those data members, you need to call manually object reference. Okay, now you need to call like this. This is the function call. Okay, it is a you can write, for example, deriving one class, like class name is I'm taking derived. You can take any name, but I'm just taking it as derived. Okay, from base class, I'm just deriving one more class derived. Statement constructor for derived class. Which name I need to take here for constructor in derived class?
Sir, we need to take it as base.
Derived. See, for base class, you are taken constructor name as base. For derived class, you need to take
Okay, sir. Okay.
this is the default constructor, right? And this is also now you tell me whatever members that you have in base class, okay, those are visible inside. See, inside base class you have display function. This display function can we access inside derived class? Inside derived class, can we add this function?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can act because we are deriving this base class inside derived class. Okay, members are available inside this particular derived as well. Uh, the next question is constructor inside derived class. But
No, sir.
public
We
member
cannot.
No,
can
sir.
directly access. Public members can access derived. One object for
Sir, your
derived class.
voice is not audible.
Not audible. For everyone, the same.
Yes, sir. There is somewhat problem with voice.
1 second.
Yes, sir. సార్ సౌండ్ రావట్లేదు సార్.
Here in base class, and we have constructed in written in as well, because these are the public members. Public members you can add direct class. Particular or derived class, I will just remove this thing. For sorry, derived class is
Sir,
B1. Tell me.
can you share your screen? It's not visible.
Sorry.
Can you share your screen, sir? It's not visible now.
Okay. Now it is. Are you able to see my screen?
Sir.
ఎస్ సార్.
Inside base class, you have one like constructor that is base. Inside derived class, you have one constructor that is derived. See, I'm saying that once you are deriving this class, these public members are okay. These members plus. If I create an object for this particular derived, okay, like this. Okay, this means that constructor is going class base class constructor also visible inside derived. Now, which class constructor is going to call? That you need to understand here. Okay, here order of constructor call. Okay, which constructor is going to call? That is the thing. Just see this. You have two constructors here. One is derived class constructor. Derived class. Okay. Actually, it has to call derived class constructor. This class constructor as well. Okay. What happens if an object, it will call derived class this derived class constructor will call constructor first. Okay, this derived class constructor call base class constructor first. Okay, order of constructor call is first base class constructor is going to call, then after derived class constructor is call. Okay, because both the members derived class constructor are available. If I create object for derived class, first base class constructor is going to call, then after you need to remember this particular point. Okay, how it ends means in derived class constructors are available. Okay, first it will call to the base class constructor, then after it will call to your derived class constructor. This okay, the same way inside your class you can write destructors also. Anyone writing destructors inside class? Tell me.
Sir, can you repeat the question again? It was not audible, sir.
Writing destructors inside class.
Yes, sir, we can.
That's inside class. Tell me.
Sir, can you repeat your question again? Your voice is very low, sir.
See, what I'm asking, I'm constructed inside class. Okay.
Yeah.
Is the use of writing constructors to initialize your object.
Yes.
This
Yes,
way
sir.
you can write your constructor. Same as class name, like that. Some rules are there, right? Those in here. The same way you can write small difference, additional destructor also similar to one special kind of function in destructors. Destructor name should be same. This operator. Can anyone say what is the name of this operator? This operator. Till
And
Tilde operator.
till destructors. Okay. Destroy your objects. Okay. Objects. For example, once you're creating all by using constructor, that thing. Objects that you are created, that object can take care by destructors. Of object is going to end. Destruct. See here you have created one object. From here to here. Is going to end, right? By default, destructor is going to call. We can write destructor, okay? Okay, for this particular derived class destructor.
sir, will derived class destructor only be called or base class destructor also?
Yeah, that is if I create object, first it is called derived class constructor. Once this to end means you are going out of this particular object. In that case, these destructors are going to call. So, visible inside. Now the order of going to call derived class destructor, then
Derived and then base class.
Okay, this is the order of constructor and destructor. First base, first call derived class, so it will call base class destructor. Now you can see in the output, see, as default constructor, scope is going to end, means here, right? Here the scope is going to end, right? Once the scope is going, that it is going to call, first it will call derived class, then after it will call, okay, this is the order of and destructors in case of tense, means in base class and okay, simple, just remember constructors and destructors in both base or like exit and destructors. First, if it is class constructor, then after derived class. Once the scope of object is to the or like class destructor. This destructor in class. Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Um, the part is over for you in your thought. This thing inheritance part is over. Okay. On Monday we'll start this virtual function and polymorphism. We'll take thing. If you observe 4 small units, okay, hardly it will take 5 to 5 hours this second for. Don't think complete syllabus in it only. Okay, that's why. Okay, don't worry, I will complete your syllabus. Okay.
Sir, one small doubt.
Tell me.
Till yesterday, whichever notes you have given, no, sir, up till constructor, is that the only notes for inheritance total topic?
Sorry.
Sir, yesterday you had sent one PDF, no, sir, in group for inheritance notes until up to constructor. So is that complete notes of inheritance topic?
The small actually this example program I need second document
Okay.
one. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Thank you.
Example program I'm not at like copied, I think so. Okay. The same document. Okay. Uh, you can ask me in the next class. Okay. You can leave now. Okay. You can hour at 10:30, right?